Good morning, good day, or good afternoon, everyone. We are the third year students attending the University of Goroka in the beautiful nation of Papua New Guinea. We undertake a course called EDY 2312. Our course title is Managing Behaviors in School. We are going to do a group presentation about some behavior management practice in institutions and our local communities around Papua New Guinea. Okay, first of all, I'm going to introduce my group members as well as myself. I'm going to introduce myself first. My given name is Dina Sanem Kapi. I'm from Southern Islands. I will be taking the introductory part of our presentation. And the second presenter will be Robert Bob. He's from Western Islands. He's going to take the first part of our body. And the third presenter will be Roy Auti. He's going to further elaborate on the second part of the body. And to finalize everything, and the conclusion will be taken up by Sebastian Mando. We choose a topic, and our topic is chewing of betel nuts and spitting and littering management practices by our family, friends, and our neighbors. Betel nuts, chewing of betel nuts. When you hear this topic, you know already that people in Papua New Guinea, they are the major consumers or chewers of betel nut, a nut called betel nut. So these people, they chew betel nut with lime and mustard. They chew it, and then the red juice that come out from their mouth, they don't care where to litter or spit. They just do whatever they want to do. They don't care about the places, environment, the workplace around them. They just throw their rubbish away. So that is a major behavior management practice that is done by our family, friends, and our people. So my third presenters who will be taking the body part will further elaborate more on this. Thank you, and enjoy the next presenters. That's all.
My name is mentioned in the presentation already, and I'm talking about some of the health problems that posed by illness speaking living in towns, schools, especially probably is very common. It is one of the most even mentioned issue that is affecting the most of the citizens of Papua New Guinea, where they do not cater for their own population. Littering is spitting everywhere, which is unhygienic and can lead to some of the serious health problems and can cause diseases. In Papua New Guinea, betel nut consumption or chewing betel nut is reaching its peak, where everybody is starting from little kids up to the adolescents or even the mature adults as well. They are consuming betel nut every now and then, or one after the other. In my personal point of view, I can say that every single person or each person consuming or chewing betel nut every day is approximately estimated out to 11 to 12 grams per day, which is equivalent to 2 hours or 1.5 hours per consumption per day. However, when chewing betel nut and once it gets wet or water into their mouths, they do not care about littering. They just spit anyhow anyway. That's nobody's business everywhere, wherever they stand or sits, even in their private homes or houses where they used to live, or in the offices where some of the staff members used to work, and also in the schools or classrooms where most of the students they used to study there. And even in the public motor vehicles where they used to travel around without respecting the person or who sits beside or next to them. And this is one of the major negative behavior problem that is affecting the most of the citizens of Papua New Guinea. Besides, it is not healthy and safe for the health of human beings. Some of the points that I have come out with, in which the littering and the spitting of betel nut cause harm to the health of the human beings. First and foremost, littering and spitting betel nut everywhere which can be accumulated or build up waste materials where it can give access to the mosquitoes breeding place where mosquitoes can breed and multiply. And they can move around days and night by biting, sucking the bloods of the people, where it can cause serious diseases such as dengue, fever, and malaria. Secondly, littering and spitting beetle net into creeks, rivers, or fresh waters can be contaminated. Waters can be contaminated for drinking, cooking, and washing, and can lead to some serious diseases such as typhoid, diarrhea, and tuberculosis or TB. And thirdly, beetle stains can be penetrated into the legs of those who are walking without shoe, slipper, or walking barefoot, and can cause a long time side effects like boils, sores, or it can lead to ulcers. These are some of the negative effects that can happen to the human beings who health of the people who have as a result of beetle net spitting and littering. However, beetle net is one of the most common diseases that is generating the income for most of the Papua New Guineans, where they cannot afford to find specific jobs where they can make their living. But the problem is with the behavior of human beings, that they do not cater for their own rubbish or take responsibility of their rubbish by littering and spitting everywhere. Here are some of the ways that people can consider, or beetle net sailors and Jews can consider to be responsible for their own rubbish. Like beetle net sailors and Jews, they should take responsibility of their own rubbish by throwing or spitting in the right places, such as spitting in the trash bins. And also, the beetle net sailors can provide plastics for the beetle net Jew or their consumers or their customers to spit into the plastics to get responsible for their rubbish rather than littering and spitting everywhere. And sometimes they can dig some holes to bury their rubbish rather than littering everywhere or spitting everywhere. These are some of the possible ways to control the beetle net spitting and littering. That's all from me. Thank you.
Few of my friends, they have already mentioned something about their own research under the chewing and spitting of beetle net in Papua New Guinea institutions. And for me, I'll be talking about the social and economical effects that is caused by chewing and spitting of beetle net in Papua New Guinea institutions. Under the economical effects of chewing beetle net in Papua New Guinea institutions, it has several effects there, and I've come up with the 3 points there. The first one is increased maintenance cost by the school. School must have to spend more on the cleaning services, repairing of damaged walls, and some other damaged properties that is caused by the chewers. You see, on the footpath that you're walking, you see a lot of beetle net spitted there, and beetle net skin is everywhere littered around there, and it looks like the school is unhygienic and it doesn't look well. So what the school must have to do is the school have to look for ancillary staffs or any extra workers, and then they'll have to look for ancillary staff there, and then they give them work to do cleanups and repairing of walls as mentioned, and they'll have to pay for them. You see, the workers there, they are not doing the work for nothing. At least they expect something from the schools, and the school pay for the work they did. So this is another cause there which affect the economical issues there. That's that. And number two is the health cost. As one of my friends have already mentioned, that health issues is one of the effect that is caused by chewing and chewing beetle net in Papua New Guinea institutions. As you come across one of the diseases in any part of the body, maybe in your mouth or tongue or whatever part of the body, you quickly rush into the hospital for treatment. And as you go there, you're not going to get treatment for nothing. the nurses and the doctors there, they are expecting you to pay something before you get the treatment. So this is another expenses there, and you also make a trip there, back and forth, going to hospitals, coming back home. You spend money there for bus fare, and this is another loss of money there, and it affects the economics, economic. So it is not good that we are chewing bitter nut. And the final one under the economical effect is the encouragement of informal economy. You see, our parents back at home, they are supporting us with good amounts of money, and you see, they encourage us to use their money properly in a good way, not in chewing betel nut and all other things, unnecessary things. And you see, the more we chewing betel nut and doing other things, you see, we are giving another burden to our parents and misusing their money, and it directly gives another economical effects to our parents, which is not good. It's under the economical effects, and coming down, I have the social effects on chewing and spitting of betel nut. And under these social effects, we have discipline issues. You see, every schools in Papua New Guinea, they have their own rules and regulations to be followed by the students and the community in the particular schools that we occupy. So you see, as we all know that chewing and spitting betel nut in Papua New Guinea institutions is one of the rules and regulations, and yet we know that it is one of the rules that would be omitted in Papua New Guinea institutions. We are breaking the rules, and it affects the discipline issues. And the final one is on stigmatization. You see, lots of students in the particular schools, they are not chewers. Many of them are non-chewers, and only few are chewers. And you see that you'll not be cope up with them properly. That's that, and the points that I've mentioned is already mentioned there, and thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of our discussion on the same topic of betel nut chewing and spitting in public places, it is clear that it is not just a matter of hygiene. It's a social, environmental, and health challenge that affects all of us, the non-chewers and both the chewers. In Papua New Guinea, betel nut chewing is deeply rooted cultural practice, but the way it is being managed in public places is causing serious health problems in our communities. When we see the red stains of betel nut spitting making our pavements, public transport stops, markets, and even schools look filthy and untidy, this creates not only an eyesore but contributes to the spread of disease and bacteria, which will affect all of us, and which further leads to sickness and diseases that will kill us. Tourists often sometimes make mention about the unsightly stains and the effect of our image as a nation. Even more importantly, our people, children, and elderly, those with health conditions, are being exposed to unnecessary health risks when people spit in public places, and even in wherever they walk, they go and spit betel nut there. It causes unnecessary health risks and expose our people or sick patient to high health risks. While chewing betel nut, it is part of our culture and identity. We must also recognize the culture, especially when public being is high responsible. Just as other societies have adopted to keep their traditional practices within the limits, we too must make choices that balance tradition with modern health needs. The responsibility lies within the individual chewers, sellers, community leaders, and the authorities or local authorities, which they must strengthen the enforcement of betel nut spitting laws and designate clear spitting zones with proper disposable items such as disposable bins or trashes where they can spit into them, and it will easy for the cleaners to clean them and throw them away. Like sellers should be more accountable for the cleanness of the areas and the community, because whenever they sell betel nut, they do not do control of their rubbishes, especially the betel nut skins and those which are spoiled or which are non-consumable. Sellers sometimes must clean these areas and make the hygiene or the health for everyone a number one priority, where we all will live a good health. And also the community should educate about the consequences and the carelessness of spitting. Organizations such as schools, churches, and other local leaders should be involved in the spreading of messages and promoting pride in cleaner and a safe environment where we all can live a healthy lifestyle. And the other point about betel nut spitting is public education campaigns are especially important, because campaigns should be made, or awarenesses should be made everywhere throughout the country, where people must take care of their betel nut spitting when consuming in public places. People must also understand why we need to stop this behavior, because not just to be told to stop, we need to change the attitude, not to enforce the rules. When citizens understand the health risk and the broader impact on our community, they are more likely to support to a positive change. In closing, let us remember that a clean and healthy Papua New Guinea begins with a small changes in healthy behavior, like small changes like controlling of betel nut spitting and controlling of rubbishes when you chew betel nut. These are small changes that will lead to healthy Papua New Guinea, where everyone will live a healthy lifestyle. Even though betel nut is part of our culture, but most importantly, we must respect the environment for one another, because everyone is important. We are here because someone is there, so we are here. So in order to make them look healthy, or even our areas to look healthy, we have to control our betel nut spitting and rubbishes whenever we chew them. So let us take responsibility, work together for one another, and let's keep our public places clean, not just for ourselves but for the future generation too, because when the future generation comes, they will look onto what the legacy that we will set, and they will act upon on that. So if we set a bad reputation or a bad legacy, the future generation will also follow that legacy. So in order for them to be in a good position, we have to create a good legacy before we live, or while we live on this earth, in order for our future generations to be in a better position. Therefore, betel nut spitting is one of the attitude problems that every Papua New Guineans have. Not everyone, but especially those betel nut chewers. Not every chewers, but particularly some who was just chewing for the sake of chewing and spitting here and there like chickens, or those kind of peoples. They should control their betel nut spitting whenever they chew them in public places. And this brings us to the end of our presentation, and you can see after this there will be some little slides about the areas where they are polluted by betel nut chewing and littering in public places. So in conclusion, let us all remember that a clean and healthy Papua New Guinea begins with a small changes in a healthy behavior. Even though betel nut is part of our culture, but most importantly, we must respect the environment for one another, and let's take the responsibility and work together to keep our areas clean and live a safer and a healthy life. Thanks all for your viewing. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.